What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen, back with another edition of Colts Law. The Indianapolis Colts heading into the bye week are 5-5. Okay, they're 5-5. They have a 500 record. Should they be 500? Doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Should they be less wins? Should they have more wins? Doesn't matter because currently, right now, they are 5-5 and in a playoff hunt. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at, give you my opinion on what the Colts do well, what the Colts need to improve on, and then check out the schedule that's remaining. See if it's possible that the Colts might be able to make the playoffs. Who knows? It's going to be a real quick one, but hey, you know what? I'm going to get a fairly bit detailed. First and foremost, what the Colts do well is run the football. Now, I get it. I understand. Last week, the Indianapolis Colts, Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss in his one carry, and Jonathan Taylor and his multitude, did not run the ball very well. There's a reason for that. It's because what they do well and what they haven't been doing well do not coincide. All right? What the Colts do not do well right now, or have not been doing well, is stretching the field in the pass game. Gardner Minshew seems to like anything that's 15 yards or shorter. Well, that's nice for moving the sticks. But when you have a combo of Zach Moss and Jonathan Taylor, you have to be able to you got to be able to run the football. And the defenses know that they're going to be running the football. So last week against the Patriots, Bill Belichick, he's not stupid. He's like, guys, everyone on the field, whether you're outside corner, whether you're defensive tackle, whether you're the free safety, watch the run first. Gardner Minshew's not going to throw it past 15 yards. You know, he's not going to do that. Watch for the run first, and that hurts us a lot. It hurts the Indianapolis Colts run game. Gardner Minshew has to find a way to stretch the field, get those open looks. And the problem is, I don't think it's because he can't throw deep. All right, I've seen him throw deep. I've seen him throw 40, 45 yards, okay, in games, make completions, hit guys in the hands. All right, we've seen it. He can do it. He doesn't have the cannon that Anthony Richardson has, so he's not going to throw it in a tight spot, but he can lead a guy that's one-on-one who's got someone beat. All right, he can do that. I think his problem is he's too worried about getting pressure and getting hit and getting a turnover in that way, so he's getting rid of the ball quicker. That's what I'm seeing consistently. Even when he's in a pocket and clean, he's bouncing around with happy feet because he's afraid that one of these guys is going to get loose and hit him, and he's going to fumble the football, because that's what happened a couple weeks ago. Dude's got to get that out of his head. He's got to be able to throw the ball down the field. All right? Especially when I watched the game the film, and I'm seeing Gardner Minshew out there, clean pocket, no pressure, guys 25 yards downfield, literally wide open, no one covering them. Okay? Literally. And he's looking in that direction, and he's still not throwing the football. Ain't nothing more pisses me off than that. Here's the deal. He's got to start learning how to trust his offensive line. Sure, keep both hands on the ball so you don't fumble it. All right? Then step up into the pocket to throw those deep passes. Don't be running sideways. Don't be backpedaling. You step forward to throw your deep shot. Period. End of story. That helps your accuracy. It also helps your throwing power. In doing that, that's going to ease up the defenses and allow our running game to work more efficiently. It's a win-win. All he's got to do is learn to do that, trust in his offensive line. Defensively, one week we can't cover a pass for nothing, and the next week we can't stop a run for nothing. Let's make up our minds, guys. Look, it's funny. Grover Stewart's in, we're getting some pass rush, we're stopping the run, you know, but for some reason we can't stop a pass to save our lives. And you end up with games against quarterbacks like Phillip Walker where they're scoring 39 points and just throwing the ball all over the field. All right? Then the next time Grover Stewart leaves, obviously our run defense is going to suffer some, right? And it has. By 1 yard a carry. 1 yard per carry. Since Grover Stewart's been out, our defense has allowed 1 yard. It has moved 1 yard per carry since Grover Stewart's been out. Okay? We were at 3.1. Now we're at 4.1. And that's a 4-game span. Not good. But our secondary seems to be able to cover people now. What? Now, a lot of that has to do with experience in the secondary. You know, guys like Juju Brents and Darrell Baker Jr. and guys like that who didn't have experience covering people in the NFL at all, ever, before this season started. Ever. And then they finally get out there and start playing, get a little experience under their belt, and start to get better and better as the season progresses. That's fine, right? Jalen Jones starting to look a little bit better, right? So we get Grover Stewart back. I think that's going to help our run defense and our pass rush, because our pass rush has been there. Even our backups have been pretty good. All of our starters, Tyquan Lewis has been a stud. Dio Dengbo's been a stud. DeForest Buckner's been absolutely great. The only person that's really stepped off the last 4 weeks, Samson Ebukam. He started the season off amazing, and now he's kind of slowed down a little bit. But other people have picked it up. So our pass rush has been pretty good. As long as our corners continue to get better, when Grover Stewart gets back, I think that's going to really solidify our defense and make it better than what it was, say, week 4, right? That's what I'm hoping for. That's what it looks like. So with that in mind, let's look at the upcoming schedule. All right. Now, obviously, yes, we need to fill some spots. We need to get some more cornerbacks during the offseason because we ain't getting them right now. There's nobody, in my opinion, right now that'd be good to grab at free agency. I know a lot of you think there is, but no, he's got to come in and learn a scheme. It'll be 3 or 4 weeks before they even get out there because they don't understand the scheme or the guys around them. It just takes a while, okay? That's what the offseason is for, getting used to the scheme, getting used to the guys around you. That's what the offseason, training camp, OTAs, preseason, all that's for. That's a 3-month span. Now, you expect them to do that in like a week or two? You know? It's not normally happened, all right? That's why I'm saying in the offseason, we're going to have to deal. Right now, we're going to have to deal with what we got on the team. And then during the offseason, maybe we make a move. Maybe we draft some guys, whatever. We'll see what happens. But that's when that comes around. That's when I'll talk more in depth about that. Let's look at the upcoming schedule. Obviously, we got the Buccaneers coming into town. They're not doing too bad. I think they're like 4-5 or something like that. Baker Mayfield's played a lot better than a lot of people assumed. Okay? But he's a gunslinger. He's a guy who will sit in the pocket, hold the ball a little bit longer, which means pass rush has to be there. Now, the pass rush has been there for the Indianapolis Colts, like I said, past few weeks. Let's get in there and do something, all right? He holds the ball a little bit longer than most people do. They got good receivers, though, right? They've got good receivers. Just got to do something. Offensively for the Colts, I think we could really move the ball against this Buccaneers defense. They got one or two. They got one good defensive lineman in Vita Vea. They got a couple really good linebackers, and they got a cornerback. But I think that our offense, as long as Gardner, like I said, if he plays like he has the last couple weeks, we're going to lose this game. We're not going to score 10 points in this game. If he can calm down, trust his offensive line, and just hold the ball, let the longer routes develop. Just hold it for half a second. All right? You're one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league. You can hold it for half a second and then throw the ball. Okay? Get the ball downfield. That'll open up our offense. It would literally change our offense from getting 250 yards a game to 350 yards a game, and go from 10 points to, get back up over that 20 points a game thing. All right. Because the last 2 weeks, Colts offense has not scored much. Yes, we scored 27 against the Panthers, but 14 of that was 2 pick sixes by Kenny Moore. So literally, we've only scored 23 points in the last 2 games total. Right? Averaging 12.5 points a game. Or 11.5. Yeah, 11.5 points a game. Sorry. That's nuts. You got to be able to stretch the field. I think the Buccaneers is a winnable game. It's going to be a tough one, though. One of the tougher ones that we have coming up. Game after that, Titans. We should blow them out the freaking water. Even going into Tennessee, I think we should win that game. I'm not even going to hold it down. They're in a mess right now. I understand they got their rookie quarterback out there, and he looked good one week, but then last week, So come on, all right? There's tape on him now. We could do this. Will Levis is not the answer long-term for the Titans. I think the Colts can win that game handily. Now, December 10th, the Bengals. I'm going to drop this as an L. Can the Colts win the game? Yes. I give it like a 25% chance. Maybe 30 at the most. All right. Things have to all work well for us to beat the Bengals. The Bengals are a good team right now. They're playing tonight, Thursday Night Football, as I record this. All right, against the Ravens. So we'll see a little bit more. But they've been on a run, dude. I get that they lost last week, but they won 5 straight before that after starting the season off 0-3. Okay? And they do that every year. They start off like 0-3, 0-2, something like that. But they end up going to the Super Bowl. All right? They always end up playing their best football November, December. And guess what, guys? It's November. It'll be December when we play them. Next game up on the mark, the Steelers. We'll be hosting them. Don't know when. This is one of those flex games. If the Colts can win 2 out of the 3 games before this game, that'll put them in playoff contention. Could make this a primetime game because it is a flex game. It's not been determined when it is. Colts does not have a primetime game this year outside of that Germany game that they just played against the Patriots. Could be an opportunity for the Colts. If they could just win 2 out of 3, end up being at least 7-6 heading into this game. Can they beat the Steelers? Oh, hell yes. The Steelers' offense is garbage. One of the scariest opportunistic defenses I've ever seen ever in the history of football. Okay? And they have been year after year after year after year after year consistently because of Mike Tomlin and how he runs that defense. Okay? TJ Watt is a menace out there on the outside. They've got good. They've got a decent corner. They've got well, at least slot anyhow. They got good linebackers. They got good safeties, right? And their defensive front 7 is masterfully good at creating confusion on the offensive line. I think our defense can hold their offense to 14 or less points. Our offense, though, is going to have to be able to move the football a little bit. And as long as we have a healthy offensive line, I think we can beat the Steelers. Colts and Falcons, this is going to be an interesting game as well. I think we win this game. I think Colts are a better team overall. All right. They do have a hell of a running back in Robinson. And Kyle Pitts is not the guy that everybody thought he was when he was drafted. Or at least he's not being utilized that way. I think the Colts can beat the Falcons and beat them handily. Heading into the Raiders, December 31st, New Year's Eve, hosting the Raiders. Believe it or not, even though the Raiders started off as a mess of an organization, they're sitting here with the same record the Colts have right now at 5-5. What? 5-5. I think the Colts are a better team here as well. Maybe not in certain position groups, but I think depth-wise, I think offensive line, we're better. I think our defensive line overall is better. But I think that, and it's going to be a home game, I think this is definitely a winnable game. And then we host the Texans. Ending the season, Texans at Colts. This literally could be playoff line game. And it's a to be determined game. Right? January 7th, Colts hosting the Texans. We already blew the Texans out earlier this year. But C.J. Stroud's been on a tear since then. The offense has looked amazing, you know. And the Colts offense has just took a downhill shutter from then. So, look, I think the Colts absolutely could win this. This is going to be a primetime game. As long as the Colts are at least 500 at this point and in playoff contention, then I think it's possible this also could be a playoff. This could be a primetime game. I'm looking at this. I think the Colts lose 2 games. You heard me. In my opinion, they could lose 3. They should only lose 2. This is not. Now, if the Colts beat the Steelers, it would be amazing because the Colts have the worst history, I think, in football against another team, and that's the Steelers, right? Period. We just can't beat the Steelers. That's why I've got us losing to the Bengals and us losing to the Steelers. I think we could beat everybody else. All right? I think we could finish this season off 5-2. 5-2. That'd put us at 10-7. That's almost guaranteed playoff. That's a wild card berth, ladies and gentlemen. But they got to actually fix some of the things, especially with Gardner Minshew. That's a big caveat. Remember that, please. Big caveat. Appreciate each and every one of you. Please smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed. Tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time I go live or upload a video. Check out my Patreon. You can be a member for only $5 a month. And you can also use donations. Link is in the description of the video. And if you made it this far, thank you guys. Thank you so much. And as usual, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And I want you to have a good one.